guys, it is Friday night and I have here a little package we're going to open up. This is from the good guys at a company called Busted Bus, and they are on the internet at bustedbus.com. So this is a 68 or above wiring harness for a bus, and the nice thing about the bus is it's a Volkswagen, of course, and it has all the same color wires that the Ghia has. I know I talked to Jeff, and he said, do yourself a favor and go to, what was it called? I can't remember, but it's like a hot rod harness, and those hot rod harnesses are really nice. They really are. I looked them up, and I really contemplated it. If I couldn't find this, that's what the direction I was going, is Ron somebody, I think. They have it listed on the wire what it goes to, so it'll say like headlight ground, things like that. And I think that's a great idea. You get a 12-circuit guy or something like that. There are certain things I am very, I guess, nostalgic about. I don't know. There are certain things I get really focused in on, and I can't get away from it. And one of those things is having the right color wires for the car. My whole purpose in doing this car, my whole thought process was, I want this to be as if Volkswagen made a higher model Karmann Ghia. I think in the old Chevys they had a normal 57 Chevy, then they had a Bel Air which like had an extra trim package and maybe some other things. That's kind of what I want this to be. I want it to be as if it could have rolled out of the showroom looking like this. When people look at it, I don't want them to think, oh man, that's been really customized and things like that. And so the wiring is one of those things. I want it to be very neat. I want it to be very nice and functional, but I want it to look like it was made to be there. And that means using the old fuse block, and that means using the same color wire. That's how it is in my head, and I know it's probably not logical for a lot of people, but that's how it is. So the other piece of that is, I've talked to a few people about this. For me, this project, the fun for me is in the doing. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have all these little projects on my bench. I wouldn't be taking the instruments apart to figure out how they work, to make sure they work right and test them. I'd be sending them off to Hollywood Speedo or whoever. But to me, it's not worth sending any of this to anyone, not because I'm a cheap ass. I am kind of a cheap ass. But bottom line is, I enjoy doing the work. If I didn't enjoy doing the work, I would have paid somebody to paint the car. I'd pay somebody to build the engine. I'd pay somebody to make the interior. I'd pay somebody to wire it. I'd, just pay it all out. And some people do that, and there's nothing wrong with it. But to me, the fun isn't the assembly. The fun is the doing and cleaning and making a junk part into something that it's not. So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird way to look at it, but that's how I look at it. So anyway, the other thing, I talked to Milo from Milo's Garage. I think it was this week. Pretty sure it was this week. It was early this week, and we talked for quite some time. And what an interesting guy. He really likes cats, I can tell you that. I know he gives kitty points for videos, and I've noticed that. I don't have a cat, and a couple people have asked me if I hate animals. I don't hate animals. My wife's allergic to cats, and we have white carpet. So we go visit cats all the time, but we don't own any, or we don't house any. Some people don't like to own animals, but whatever. So anyway, that's that. I talked to Milo, and it was really great talk. It's kind of interesting when you talk to somebody. Every once in a while you run across people that change the way you look at a lot of things because of something small that they say, and Milo's one of those guys. His approach and his take on the world is a lot different than a lot of people, and he really challenged me. I don't know if he knew this or not. He really challenged me to think about a lot of things. And in fact, I've talked to a few guys on YouTube through the last few years who've done very similar things, and I think that's kind of what's neat about the group of guys is the folks on YouTube are doers first off. They're finishers. They're guys who are getting it done. If they weren't getting it done, they wouldn't be showing you videos of them doing it. But by the same token, they're guys who think a little bit deeper than the average Joe. And I think that's what draws them to YouTube and draws them to put videos out there, because they want to connect with other people that are similar. But anyway, it was a great conversation. I've had many other great conversations with other YouTube guys. But anyway, I just wanted to say thanks, Milo, for all the words of encouragement and all of that. And Milo wants me to repaint this car. I'm not going to tell you why. He can tell you why, and I don't care if he tells you why, but he wants me to repaint it. So I don't know if that'll happen or not. We're going to drive it first. That's the first thing. First things first, the car gets driven. I've got about maybe 16 inches from the fuse block to where it goes down, and from there let's add 2 feet, and then from there to get to the rear tail light, we're about 8 feet. So we got 8 and 2 is 10 and 11 there, and then maybe to get to the other tail light, so we got 11 plus 4 is 15 feet. So that's our maximum, is about 15 feet. Hang on, I'm going to try and get you in a good spot, guys. Got to watch the action as it unfolds here live on YouTube, live on the internet. Okay, so I got this kind of stretched out. We got about 14 good feet of harness here. So 14 feet of harness front to back undisturbed, and this isn't really even totally stretched out, but I don't know, I'm going to say 14 is a good number. So 14 feet. I think I was pretty generous on my numbers. I think if I were to stuff this in a Ghia, I think it would reach everywhere. It may not, who knows, but 14 feet will definitely get us back to one tail light and get us really, really close to the other one. Some people spend a lot of money on puzzle books and stuff like that. This is much more my speed. So, you know, I thought I had told everybody the story about not getting parts sold to me, but I just remembered that was one of the videos I made and then promptly deleted because I said some things in it that weren't very nice, and because I was really upset when I made the video and it wasn't fair. So what I need to do is tell you the story and you can judge. That's good. So I called up my local junkyard because somebody told me they had seen a Volkswagen bus in the junkyard. And so I called them and I asked what year the bus was that they had out on their yard. And the guy promptly said, well, what do you need? Or what are you trying to fix? I said, I need a wiring harness. What year is your bus? And he said, well, what are you working on? I said, it doesn't matter. I just need a wiring harness out of a bus. What year do you have? And he said, I don't know what year I have. What are you working on? I said, I'm working on a Karmann Ghia, 1974. And he said, sir, I don't have any parts for you. And I said, well, I just want the harness out of your bus. I don't care what year it is. I don't care this. I don't care that. I just want the harness out of your bus. Sir, I told you I don't have any parts for your Karmann Ghia. Okay. So he didn't want to sell me a piece of junk part that he had out on his lot that he's probably going to wind up throwing to the crusher because he didn't understand what I was trying to do. That's fine. So then I got a hold of a guy who owns a company, I'm not going to say which company, that manufactures wiring harnesses for buses. And I may not understand it. Maybe he has them made in China or offshore or something like that. But as I understand it, he does custom wiring for Volkswagens. So he has a shop with all the different little colors of wire, and he makes up his wiring harnesses when somebody has something special, and it's all color-coded and perfect. And I called him up, and I said, hey, you might be the only guy in the world who has everything I need. I need a wiring harness for a 74 Ghia, but I want it in pieces. I don't want it all together. And he said, well, sir, I don't sell wire. I sell wiring harnesses and kits. And I said, well, that's what I want. I want a wiring harness. Just before you take the time to put all the ends on it and all that crap, just leave it in pieces and tell me how much it costs and send it to me. He said, I don't do it that way. I sell entire wiring harnesses. I said, okay, I'm just trying to save you the time and money and effort to put all the ends on it because I'm just going to tear them all off. He said, let me stop you right there. He said, I am a wiring expert. That was his exact words. I am a wiring expert. And what you're talking about doing would take like 2 or 3 full weekends. Full weekends. I'm talking like 8-hour days it would take you. 3 full weekends to do what you're trying to talk about doing, making up your own harness. I sat there for a second and I said, I suppose you're probably right. You don't want to do that. You want to buy one of my harnesses, already made up, and just put it in. Just put it in just like that. Anything else that you want to do, if you're doing anything custom, just run those wires alongside. Don't worry about getting them in the same harness. And I said, well, that's what you want me to do. That's not what I want to do. Then he stopped again and he said, sir, I'm a wiring expert. And I said, well, sir, I grew up wiring houses, so I know my way around wires and colors and shit like that. And then I worked in rock and roll for a while, and I did entire concerts, big ones, like huge stages, and we wired them up in a day, and it's much more complex than a car. Then I did video control rooms. If anybody's ever seen a video control room, they're ridiculous. Entire sound studio in the basement, 4 editing suites upstairs, a live, what the hell do you call it, studio, a film studio. Me and 2 other guys wired the entire thing, thousands of wires. I said, I think I know what I'm getting into, sir. I think I am a wiring expert. I don't always understand everything, but I'll figure it out. So you won't sell me any wire, you won't sell me a harness not all put together, is that right? That's right. Okay. That's fine. I'll find it somewhere else. So, then I called my friend Chris at Busted Bus. I didn't call him, I talked to him by email. And I said, hey, you sell bus parts, right? And he said, yeah. Any of those buses have wiring harnesses in them? He said, well, as a matter of fact, I have a couple wiring harnesses on my shelf. And I said, do you know which year they are? And he said, as a matter of fact, I don't. I said, perfect. Throw one of them in a box for me and send it to me. Whichever one looks like it has the nicest looking wire. He said, that's not a problem at all. I'll do that. So, he put one of them in a box and he sent it to me. So, there you go, Chris. I'm glad you sent me this harness. There's the wire I'm looking for. Because I am a wiring expert, and I'm going to make this harness into a 1974 custom Karmann Ghia harness. So there you go, guys. I'm sorry I bored you to death, but we're testing some wires, and I needed something to do, talk to the camera. So we're just ringing out all the wires to make sure I know where they go, and to make sure they're all in one piece from one side of the loom to the other side of the loom. This, again, is my continuity tester. So for those out there that are going to do something stupid and foolish like this, it's a little Radio Shack buzzer and a 9-volt battery with 2 little alligator clips. And probably the most useful thing in my electrical toolbox. Don't let your meatloaf, guys.